Here we go. Well, welcome everyone to this month's edition of Well Read, co-sponsored by Works San Jose Art and Performance Center. And for this evening's introductions, I'd like to first give it up to Amy Beans. She is Amy Street. So Amy, how about you tell us a little bit about what's going on at Works?
Okay, sure. Hi, everybody. Yes, the secret is out. My last name is really Street. It is not really Beans. Beans is just for the glitter. Yeah. So fun fact, I'm the only one here who can say she's from the streets, everyone. Ha ha ha. That's my icebreaker joke with that. Sometimes I pump my chest, but I'm not that confident today. So yeah, hi, I am Works' treasurer. We are a very fun board, if you can't tell, a little bit quirky. And we are so happy that we get to partner with Poetry Center San Jose for these events. It's really exciting that even through all of this shenanigans with COVID, that you've still been able to continue to do this. And I'm so thrilled that I actually get to participate and watch tonight, because normally I'm still stuck at work. So this is a treat. So on behalf of Works, thanks for being here and thanks for keeping on coming back. And we are really looking forward to seeing everyone in person when it's safe. So two of the readers tonight, Kimmy, she's former board member, and she's our past vice president. Kimmy's actually the reason why I've been our treasurer. So thanks, Kimmy. It's stuck, you know? And Julie, she is also a big part of the Works team. We love Julie. And you can see her work in our online community exhibitions for Mr. Floyd, Miss Taylor, and the Anti-Valentine's show from 2021. At this point in time, I would tell you where the bathrooms were and stuff like that. So, and if you needed me, I would be at the bar, but I'll turn it back over to Rob. Okay, see y'all soon.
Thank you. Mute.
Here we go. All right. Now it's my turn. And with that, Poetry Center San Jose is a member-supported organization funded in part by grants from Applied Materials Foundation, the City of San Jose's Office of Cultural Affairs, Poets and Writers, Silicon Valley Community Foundation, and Silicon Valley Creates in partnership with the County of Santa Clara and the California Arts Council, and generous giving from Ann and Mark's Art Party. We've got quite a few events coming up in May, and also June. Third Thursdays, co-sponsored by Willow Glen Library, features Bill Cazzini, and that's Thursday, May 20th, 7 p.m. Open mic follows the featured reading. And then we have Bashar, a theme-based monthly literary reading series in Hindi, and that takes place Saturday, May 22nd, 7:30 p.m. San Jose Poetry Slam, co-sponsored by Caravan Lounge, takes place Sunday, June 13th, 6:30 p.m. with multiple ways to participate if you want to be a judge or a reader. And remember, prize money to earn. And also in June, we introduce our new program, Beautiful Black Books, with host Shaka Campbell and featuring Dr. Donnie Jackson, who will be in conversation with Shaka about his book, Boy. And this in celebration of Juneteenth, that is Friday, June 19th, 7 p.m. Zoom. Also, we've got Poetry Exchange with host Lisa Medley, who will feature Jen Siraganian on Sunday, May 16th, 1 p.m. And then also Poetry Lounge, which will take place Saturday, June 12th at 1 p.m. A featured poet every month and an open mic to follow. And next month, so I don't forget to let you know, Well Read, June 8th, 7 p.m. to feature our first youth poet laureate, Anuk Ye, and Vice Youth Poet Laureate, Mahadar Aklilu. All right, so check that out. That's going to be really great. Great talents. And thank you to the founder and lead on this, Janice Lobo Sapigal, and then all the other poets who submitted their manuscripts. Great work, one and all. Keep it coming for next year, and much success in all of their endeavors. That said, we've got the editors of Cæsura, the new edition, coming up, and wanted to present them to all of you who are interested in what Cæsura is about for this next generation, and to get to know the editors and their work and their vision, and how they are interacting with one another, and say hello to them through chat and share your work in the open mic afterwards. All right. Bill Cazzini is here as managing editor, editor-in-chief. There he is. He just waved there in the corner of the Punnett Square. And then Kimmy Martinez, who will round out the show at the end, editor-in-chief, waving there as well. But first, let's introduce now our fiction editor with a degree in film and television production and a passion for storytelling. Anthony Bellin writes short stories and screenplays. His favorite authors include Philip K. Dick, Douglas Adams, Thomas Harris, Wheeze and Hickman, Peter David, and Neil Gaiman, to name just a few. He has a history of work in film and theater production. Anthony is currently involved with Stabbydoll Media as a writer-performer and is the fiction editor for the PCSJ Cæsura Annual. He's been a featured reader here with works a few years ago. So welcome him back. Come on, Anthony Bellin.
Thank you. So, well, a couple different things. I'm just going to jump into the one big one, I think, here. So this actually, even though I'm in the as the fiction editor, this is more or less something that it falls into like a nonfiction category. So I'm just going to jump right in and go straight through it. So it's a piece that I've been working on for the last few days, and it actually came out of the pandemic while I was chatting with an old friend of mine about an event that I went to as a teenager. So it's a piece that I call I'm Now. So I'm 11. It's 1983. Pastor Carlson and my mother's current boyfriend, Lloyd, are visiting. It's strange because the visit is completely out of the blue. Why are they here? My mother's been crying. She comes in with the two, and the two men sit down on our ugly yellow couch. My great-grandfather, Harold, had passed away, as it turns out. And he was in his 70s with congestive heart issues. No transplants, it seems, for old people. Hearts are for the young, and maybe even the more affluent. At least that's what I keep hearing from members of the family that are angry about the situation that they couldn't do anything about. You know, I was 11, and I used to watch Star Trek, where Dr. McCoy would cure anything. Open heart surgery was on MASH every week. Why can't they give a heart to my great grandfather? You know, the men have no answers. They check with me and my brother and then soon leave. And my mother's boyfriend, Lloyd, becomes my stepfather 2 years later. Pastor Carlson left the church the same year, and my family moved from the East Bay to the South Bay area. I'm 17. It's 1989, and I'm on a bus. A full year of planning, 6 months of fundraising, and I'm on my way to a conference in Denver, Colorado. This is the summer of Batman, where Prince was both law and chaos. Madonna felt like a prayer. Milli Vanilli was awarded by Blaming It on the Rain, and Billy Joel sailed to the top of the charts with Stormfront. I don't play sports ball. I'm not big into theater or no garage band. I just have my faith, my friends, and I'm looking forward to my senior year coming up in September. Not what you call one of the popular kids. I love to draw. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I play AD&D. I see all of the movies. I know all that there is to know about anything with star in it, mainly Trek and Wars. And I read a lot of choose your own adventure literature. At least, let's see, 2 of my recent crushes are on the bus with me. So I'm looking forward to this trip. But basically, I'm awkward, I'm nerdy, I'm goofy. I'm the guy who just kind of fades into the woodwork. I'm talking with somebody who I just met. And in retrospect, she's finding me interesting, but it took me 20 years to realize this. Right now, she's one of my new friends, while I pine for the others. I'm sappy, lonely, and basically a teenager. There's 17,000 of us, lanky, awkward kids, destined to take over the hotels in downtown Denver. The conference is comprised of youth from California, Nevada, and Hawaii, and our journey takes us across California, through the deserts, the salts of Utah, and a rest stop in Wyoming. I'm sure that there were other things that happened in Wyoming, but really the rest stop is all I can remember. This is the farthest I've been from home. We arrive, I'm sharing a room with memories now forgotten, possibly some twin brothers that I knew from my group, maybe even our youth director. Either way, late to bed, early to rise is the schedule for the next 5 days. Meals are served in the conference center at Mile High Stadium. I've never been to Colorado. Basically, each day consists of going into stadium type seating, spending 6 hours on Bible studies and Christian contemporary music and hymns. A couple of days in, we are essentially staggered out in groups to attend a performance at an open air venue called Red Rocks. It's about 14 miles out of Denver proper, nestled in the hills, about 6,400 feet in elevation. I'm told that the morning performance of Red Rocks went without a hitch, and I'm looking forward to it. We were told to dress warm because there might be some rain, but being a California kid in late August, it's 80 degrees, and the hot buses, the balmy, sticky breezes. So I decided I'll just zip up my hoodie and put on my cleanest shorts. 9,000 of us load into buses marked with colored flags to denote which hotel groups the buses will be servicing. And we head up to this open air venue. It's carved directly into the rock face and, to take advantage of the natural acoustics. Within moments, the lights go out and our attention is on the stage. They do the welcoming prayer vigil and everything. And I start to look around up at the sky and take in what I can, being so high up in the altitude. A couple minutes in, the storm that was basically predicted shows up, and we start to have a little bit of rain. Soon after that, all of the electricity goes out into place. The rain turns to hail. The temperature drops from 65 degrees to 46 degrees, and we're soaked to the skin. There's really no shelter around. Lightning is now visibly striking the top of the venue. The PA has completely gone out. People are leaving their seats and heading for the stairs. Others start to get woozy as the temperature continues to drop. The rain is now turning to hail. And essentially people are dropping from hypothermia. So some of the adults tell us that the buses have been recalled, but that it's going to take nearly an hour for them to get back. The parking lot is now made of mud. So we file our way down into the mud to wait for the buses to arrive. All 9,000 of us with various ambulances showing up. One of my friends is passed out. So part of our group goes with that person, and I'm left alone. I'm not sure what's really happening. Finally, the buses arrive past the ambulances. Somebody's been airlifted out. And so I make my way to the first available bus. The seats are filling inside the bus, and I can't find anybody to sit next to who's my age. I'm running out of options. There's one seat next to a guy who is likely either a youth director, pastor, or maybe one of the chaperones. He seems to be the only sensible one on the bus, as he's bundled with a windbreaker canvas fishing style hat, jeans, and hiking boots. I decided it's better to sit next to this stranger than stand there for what might be 2 hours. I took my seat on the bench style, well-worn school bus seat, and just tried to get myself collected. The bus is now covered in mud. There are puddles of water moving up and down the grill-like floor. And I could hear a jumble of mixed, incoherent conversations. Some people were making introductions. Most were trying to keep warm. Every once in a while, someone would ask how much longer, and the bus driver would tell them that essentially he has to make the complete rounds. It's going to be at least a couple hours. So I try to gain some peace of mind by looking out the window past the stranger on the bench next to me. I see we're in Denver, but I have no idea where. As I look past the man in the seat next to me, I caught a good glimpse at him. And in the sea of chaos, something looks familiar. I shook it off and turned my attention back to the crowd around me. I didn't know this guy, and obviously he didn't know me. But wait, there is something odd, something unique about his teeth. I look again. He's yawning. So now I get a really good look at his teeth. Now I'm obsessed. No longer feeling the cold or hearing the noise about me, I turn to the man and say, I'm sorry to bother you, but I suspect you'll find this very odd, but your teeth are very familiar to me. The man looks at me with quite an odd expression and says, what? Okay, well, how is it that you really know my teeth? I shrugged and decided to introduce myself. I said, I'm Tony, I'm from Milpitas. Well, technically San Jose. Are you like from the area? You know, did you ever live in the South Bay? He looks at me with a gracious smile and says, well, I once lived in the East Bay, but no, I don't have any ties to the South Bay. I still didn't know who he was, but there was still something very familiar. So he presses on. He says, well, I'm Pastor Larry Carlson, and I jump out of my skin. And so I said, from Zion? And he was now perplexed. Well, yeah, not maybe 6 years ago. And so then I introduced myself and instantly know who he is. We talked for the rest of the trip. He told me that he had moved away because his father had passed, was suffering from cancer and passed away. So I'm now 49. I'm telling the story to a teacher / friend who had been my 3rd / 4th grade teacher in 1980 and 1981. She also knew Pastor Carlson. And we discussed him briefly. As the evening rolled on, after I'd had my conversation with my friend, I decided it might be fun to contact Pastor Carlson. So I went to all the social medias. For the past 30 years, I figured there's got to be something. I tried Facebook, I tried Twitter, no luck. Then I decided, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a search for the church and his last name. I'm 11 again. I'm looking up at the pastor delivering the passing of a beloved family member to my mother. I'm 17 again. I'm on a bus in Denver sitting next to a man who was there once again to comfort me during a time of absolute chaos. And I'm 49, finding an article about Pastor Lawrence Carlson, beloved to his congregation, and now past 3 years because the article is his obituary. For a couple of days, Larry Carlson lived again in the memories of a soon-to-be 50-year-old man. I'm now grateful for the times he showed right out of the blue and made a difference with a set of teeth, with a distinctive set of teeth and a smile. So that's my short piece.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. That's great. Now, I'd like to introduce Erin Keys. Erin lives in Seattle with her husband and 2 daughters. She has her BA in dance and doctorate in physical therapy from the University of Washington. She has written for Pro Pulse magazine and produced the web interview series Entrepreneurs with Erin. Please welcome now Erin Keys.
Hey everyone. So thanks for having me. I guess I'll get to the writing or the reading. So the only thing I've been writing lately is the Airbnb listing and house manual for our new beach house property. And the only thing I've been editing besides Cæsura is my daughter's homework assignment writings and my sister's grad school applications. I thought of digging some writings out of my past, but I don't think anyone really wants me to read to them articles about the benefits of physical therapy for postpartum women or my research paper on the effects of smoking on low back pain. So for today's reading, I thought I'd do some nonfiction writing of my own in Cæsura's theme for the year, unmasking. And sorry, Seven, but I'm gonna say unmasking. It's not poetry and it's not officially applied. So what have I been unmasking? Patio chairs. Our new beach house Airbnb investment came with furnishings. No, not beach house furnishings though. This house came with heavy furnishings, literally. I've been moving them around. They're dark brown and black, bulky and solid, and sitting in the exact same places they've been for the last 15 years. Outside, the weight continues to a stone and cement topped table, the finish hidden by a layer of grime. The dining chairs are brown beige woven nylon with baked bronze peeling aluminum. The whole set has been sitting outside, uncovered, freely caressed by the salty sea air. The seats have grown green with moss and lichen. And I was going to toss them out. I literally dissuaded 2 different friends from taking them because they were so disgusting. But no, that was not to be. My father said they weren't in such bad shape and they just needed a power washing and a new coat of paint. Okay, I like a craft project. I can handle that. Except the power washing turned into a hand scrubbing with TSP, trisodium phosphate, for the uninitiated. My adventure started at the hardware store. I stopped on my way to the new property at one of those little country hardware stores where everything is packed on top of each other and the aisles are only wide enough for one person to pass at a time. I kind of like the smell of hardware stores, I realize. I'm not a delicate lady. I'm a rough and tough modern woman. After several minutes of wandering and feeling badass, I admit defeat and ask for help. The cashier directs me back to the household cleaning aisle. I do not find the TSP or the alternative TSP containing spick and span or laundry detergent I've been directed to buy. I do find a lot of products touting their lack of phosphates. It becomes clear to me why latex gloves are also on my list. I text my dad for help, but my cell is having a moment. I run outside to get my husband's phone. Did I mention my husband was waiting for me in the parking lot with my 2 kids? I start texting what I'm finding and not finding. The texts are going slow out in rural Washington. He's added a few more things to my list, and I still haven't found the TSP. Another employee leads me back to the cleaning aisle and starts reading the back of containers. I give up and get in line with some phosphate-free spick and span, and the cashier asks me if I found everything I was looking for. Everything but the TSP, I tell her. She begins to discuss with a second cashier, and they try to direct me back to the household cleaners. A short, grizzled guy I've seen strolling the aisles disagrees. He directs me to the correct place. Obviously, I should have asked him first. The correct aisle is for serious construction types only. The TSP is near the non-soap impregnated steel wool, which I also could not find. I check out and return to my husband and kids in car an hour after entering the hardware store. Triumphant. I spend the next 2 days scrubbing patio furniture. It is dirty work, but I can see the grime retreating. I scrub until my arm and back ache. I wonder if my dad realizes I'm no longer the youthful hard labor type. He is in his 70s and just now beginning to acknowledge he might have limitations. But I am a middle-aged mom who spent the last year in my home, and I've got a touch of thoracic outlet syndrome. When I use my right arm too much, the nerve bundles near my shoulder get inflamed. The brachial plexus, to be specific. See what I did there? Got to bore you with some physical therapy after all. What it comes down to is aching pain down to my right forearm and wrist. But no worries, I brought ibuprofen. I also didn't die from phosphate exposure. Yet. Maybe it's got a long lead time. Or maybe it's just the thing to kill COVID and soon we'll all be huffing the stuff. Just kidding, don't try this at home. Week 2, and everything is clean and ready for painting. My dad went to the hardware store this time, so I got to skip that drama. I get to work with the masking tape. My craft side comes out, and I'm meticulously wrapping every millimeter of freshly scrubbed nylon with small pieces of tape to go around the curves and under the support bars. After one chair, I realize that there is no way I'm going to finish the task this weekend. I adjust my goals. Part 2 of the day's task is to tape plastic sheets to the masking tape. The wind blows it and it sticks to itself because that's just the kind of day I'm having. Part 3 is spray painting. But no, the chairs where the previous paint is peeled, the exposed metal now has a layer of white corrosion from last week's careful scrubbing, and more of the paint is peeling up. So I go back with my metal bristle toothbrush and the steel wool, and yet more ibuprofen, and more taping down of the plastic because now the wind has come up and the tape has not been that sticky. At long last, the moment I've been waiting for has arrived. Spray painting. I review my technique with Dad and I'm off. First hit the areas of bare metal, then one coat, then a second. The bronze spray paint going on smooth and shiny. Flip the chair over and repeat. Time consuming, but satisfying. Voila, nice looking metal. Well, nice-ish looking metal. We have finally come to the unmasking. I was looking forward to this part, the big reveal, the peeling back of the tape like a long ribbon, the noise, the release, the perfect smooth lines, all the pleasure of ripping off a Band-Aid with none of the pain. I mean, that's what I was going to write about before it actually happened, when this essay was just a baby idea. That's what happened in the past when I'd masked off windowsills and door frames. But no, all those perfectly placed pieces of tape would not be so cooperative. They came off as they went on in bits and pieces, the underside so cleverly tucked under the metal, now refusing to reemerge. Back to the toolbox, the literal toolbox, for some needle nose pliers. I find something I can equate to cuticle clippers. It works well and I pull off the tape like splinters. So my unmasking was not as satisfying as I would have wished. It's okay. My glorious finished product looks all right. They'll do. I just spent thousands of dollars of my own sweat labor fixing them up. They're gold to me now. In their current condition, I would have happily given them to either of those two friends, but they wouldn't appreciate them now. These things are going to be passed down to my grandchildren.
Oh, I'm loving the tone, the delivery, Tony, Aaron. Thank you, thank you.
I'm in love with your chairs now.
Yes. Oh, now we're going to change it up a little bit. We've got Julie Barrett. Let me get her up here, spotlighted.
Hi.
Julie Barrett, as a Bay Area native, she says, I love to wander the myriad natural wonders and am almost always accompanied by my pup, Peanut. That's P-NUT. After college and a bit of worldly travel, I gravitated towards the underground art scene here in San Jose about 20 years ago. I was delightfully surprised to find so many quite varied art opportunities, including a 15-year stint at San Jose's beloved Khalid Gallery. From puppeteering at Happy Hollow Park and Zoo, to working at San Jose Museum of Art, to acting and working with Stabbydoll Media, San Jose has treated me well. Many wonderful, talented people make up the San Jose art and music scene, making San Jose my absolute favorite place to show my work. My work is mostly grayscale, charcoal, Conte, graphite, etc., in paper. These mediums attract me in their closeness to nature and strength. I lean towards industrial style, mixing heavy metal hardware with the fragility of the paper that is actually quite strong. I call it dark expression. There you go, live stream land. Give it up now for Julie Barrett.
Thank you. Thanks for the wonderful introduction, Rob. I appreciate being here. So poetry isn't my strong suit, so I decided to do more of a film with poetry. Included into it, or what I consider poetry, and named Helen Hoyos. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Let me know if you guys can't see me. So Helen Hoyos was a young woman, a young Spanish woman who was, she had tuberculosis. And so she wasn't feeling so good back in the 30s. And she went to see a doctor who fell madly in love with her, a German doctor. And as she passed away, he really couldn't accept that. And the story goes that he took her and created a paper mache doll out of her body and kept her alive. So I've been pretty fascinated with that idea. And here's my film. See if I can get you guys, share my screen first, right? Let's see. Share screen. Sorry, this is new to me. I just want to make sure you guys were seeing what I'm seeing.
You might want to put it into the green. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so could you see that?
Yep. I see
Okay.
your ID.
Okay, you could see the video though?
No.
No, you could not. Okay, let me try
No.
again. Sorry, I'm new at this stuff. Okay, sorry, share screen. And then.
Sometimes it's picky about the order that like your windows are in, at least in my experience. That has followed me up on many a Zoom lesson.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so just keep going.
basic.
Like you'll get it. It'll
Yeah.
behave eventually.
Here we go. Sorry, I'm just not that.
It's
There you
all
are.
good. Don't worry.
You got it.
This is a message from they say he's a puzzle. I don't have the courage to face it. Anyway, these persons, I love.
Yay. Did you guys see that? Okay, cool.
It was a little hard to hear, Julie. Do you have the poem with you? Can you recite the poem?
You couldn't hear that?
It was very low. I mean, at least here.
It jumped in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe play the video and then recite as it's going.
Okay, I turned the volume up, but I'm going to see if you guys. Hold on. Wait. Ah.
Would you be married?
I'm not hearing it. It's really distorted.
Mm. So it's really distorted, you were saying?
Yeah.
Huh. That must be my internet Wi-Fi. Sorry
I
about that.
didn't actually hear any, all I could see was the images.
Oh. Okay, so I'll have to work on the volume, it sounds like. Are your guys' volume all the way up? Just asking because that's how far.
Yeah, I don't think it's the volume because it would be like distorted and kind of coming in and out. Like it would be nothing and then that, you know. So perhaps reading it like Kimmy or whoever suggested.
Okay. So where am I here? There I am. Okay. So Helen, this is a message from a man who is in love with a dead girl. They say he's a buzzard, a man deluded and betrayed by reality, as they sadly shake their heads. I haven't got the courage to face you anymore. Well, anyway, these roses I brought for you. And that was it. Definitely gonna have to work on that. Oh, that was all. Thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Let me remove this spotlight and great. Okay, thank you, Julie. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. I'll work on the sound.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Oh yeah, no, it's the video. I thought I had it fixed. On my computer, it's really loud, so I don't know
Okay.
what to do.
Send it to me. The
I
version.
can't. It's too big.
Oh, okay. Or you know, as a we'll talk offline.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, 7 Kelly Bolt, an established Bay Area poet and performance artist, hailing from East Palo Alto and writing since childhood. A 2017 QCC emerging artist. Her performances are said to be amazing, thought-provoking, and mesmerizing. Yes, they are. This multifaceted artist has graced such stages as Yerba Buena Center for the Arts, the Young Museum, and the Brava and Marsh Theaters in San Francisco. 7 Kelly's poem, Cucumber, has been seen on HBO Real Sex since 2000, and her poem, Listening to Pain, appears in the spring 2017 issue of Fog Lifter Journal. In 2020, 7 Kelly's original song and video, Hope in the Blues, introducing Cora Holmes, debuted New Conservatory Theater Center in San Francisco. Please now welcome 7 Kelly Bolt.
What's happening, y'all? So, I was like, oh my God, I gotta read poetry. I don't read no poetry. And I'm not writing anything about unmasking. I wrote my one poem about unmasking. But what I will say is, I've written this series, and since nobody wants to publish it, I'll just read it to people. It's called the Excalibur series. I actually wrote a short story to start it off, and it's letters. It's basically love letters to and from people in the world of Excalibur. But I'll read you the short story and make it quick. How much time I got? All right. I'll make it quick, Kimmy. All right, so this is called Dragon Kiss Sword. Don't mind my kitty waist. There once was a sword that was kissed by a dragon. She has gone by many names, Excalibur the most familiar. It started with an ancient priestess and a warrior. The warrior knew in order to truly unite his people, he needed something grand to be their king. The warrior had his best blacksmith create a beautifully decorated sword. He summoned the high priestess to awaken the dragon and have it bless the most beautiful blade ever forged. The priestess journeyed to the mountains to wake the dragon. With gifts of coal to stoke your flame, my goddess, I come upon the request of another. This warrior is a bold one, rumbled dragon. I am afraid so, said the priestess. What is that? What is it that he wishes? A blessing, your greatness, upon the most beautiful sword. And what shall he do with this sword? Rule the land in your name. Treat his people with respect. Honor the land as you do, goddess. If this is his wish, I will lay my eyes upon the sword. For you know I have seen many. If the blade is as beautiful as he says, I will kiss it with my flame. The priestess revealed the sword. The dragon looked upon it with awe. It was indeed the most glorious blade she had ever seen. With a rumble from the depths of her fiery core, the dragon blew on the sword, causing it to burn bright. She licked her tongue across the blade, and these words formed. Thou shalt look upon me and bear thine soul. Take me up. Removing 3 scales from her belly, she forged a sheath with healing powers. I shall name her Excalibur, for she is the sword of swords. Then the dragon looked deep into the priestess's eyes and said, you, my love, and your bloodline shall always be the guardians of this blade. For any man who possesses it shall be king of the land, he and his heirs. If there is no man worthy of Excalibur, she shall be laid to rest as I do for myself. Yes, your greatness, said the priestess, and it was so. For every king that honored the land and wielded Excalibur won their battles and prospered. In times of hardship and too much distrust, the priestess was there within the castle walls, removing Excalibur before she fell into the wrong hands. Lady of the Lake became the sisterhood of women that watched over and kept Excalibur safe. Letter from Uther Pendragon to Merlin after seeing the comet. My friend, I have seen the comet shaped as a dragon. It is a sign. I am destined to be king. The land is wrecked with war. Grant me the sword so that I may unify my people. There is healing within her. I can hear the call. Humbly, I will serve. Tell your lover, I am worthy. I will pass her test. I will honor the code. The dragon whispered me the truth. Tell your lady of the lake, the sword and the land are one. She cannot deny my knowledge. The sword is meant to be in my hands. Grant my calling, Merlin. I will forever be indebted to you. I bid thee well. Let me see. I'll do 2 more letters. A letter to the lady of the lake from Merlin. My love, one day you will have to set her free. The people suffer in the wake of her absence. The land is dry and barren. Even your lake's edge continues to decrease. Please, dear one, he is ready. I know what you have seen. All of the future seems bleak. He will bring the peace. He will be beholden to her, even his heir. There is more to this union than betrayal. The true king will hold her, and you will see the splendor, the magnificence, the glory. You have guarded her well. It is time she knows love. Okay, and I'm gonna give y'all a choice. Do you want to hear from the sword? Do you want to hear from Lancelot, or do you want to hear from Arthur?
Lancelot.
Sword.
Good.
The sword.
Inanimate object, please.
All right. So, your last letter. A letter from Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake while at the convent. So everybody knows what has happened, yes? So as if you're not familiar with the Excalibur story, at this point, King Arthur has discovered that Queen Guinevere and Sir Lancelot have been making whoopee, and he leaves the sword Excalibur in between the beloved couple so that he knows that the king has seen them. Okay, that's from the movie's version. But, basically, they got caught, and he left Excalibur and was like, y'all hoes. And he was like, here. And so Guinevere took the sword with her to the convent, because now she gotta cover up. All right. So this is a letter from Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake while at the convent. My lady, I'm surrounded by the echoes of penance. This betrayal has broken Arthur, as his arrogance once split my blade. Why did you mend me only to allow Lancelot a stab at his majesty's heart? Here, shrouded in Guinevere's disgrace, drowning in the salt of her tears, this weight is greater than the stone. My lady, why must I suffer this separation yet again, aching for his calloused hands? There is no light here, shrouded in Guinevere's disgrace, surrounded by the echoes of penance. Shadows of battles pulse in the silence, awaiting my king's rescue.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's a whole little series of love letters that I wrote. And then I started writing a whole bunch more to get the full story going. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep fishing it around. Maybe somebody will take it as a chapbook one day. Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you, Seven Kelly. Thank you. Now we have, rounding out the show here, Kimmy J Martinez, former art editor and co-founder of the online e-zine litandimage.net, and was the poetry editor for Reed's 150th issue. She's been published in Experienced Rock Music Tales of Fact and Fiction, edited by Roland Goity and John Ottey. 7 Powers of Creating by Halfdan Hussey and Caesura. She has founded the event Poets in Film with Cinequest Film Festival. She is co-founder of film company Stabbydoll Media. You can find that at stabbydoll.com. She has multiple awards, including the 2018 Virginia de Araujo Academy of American Poets Prize for her poem, Big Brother. Kimmy converted her epic poem into a short film that played at 2016 Cinequest Film Festival. Kimmy has been a script reader for Cinequest and for Taliesin Nexus Screenwriting Competitions. She has written several full features, shorts, and TV pilots. Her work dives into the subject matters of addiction, identity crisis, simulacrum, and outsider identity conflicts. Now, please welcome Kimmy Martinez.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. Thank you, editors of Cæsura and all the supporting staff. I really appreciate all the work you've done as so far. And I look forward to seeing the work completed with your talents. I'm very excited. So what I've been diving into lately is not music videos. I am a child from the 1980s, so I love music videos, but I've been doing poetry videos, and I have a theater background, and I kind of get nervous on the stage now. So reading my poetry live has I really get the shakes and such. So I found that creating videos have helped me a lot to convey what I want to convey in my work. So these 2 videos that I'm going to be showing to you back to back. The first one is Layaway, and they're persona videos, narrative persona videos that I've done. The second one I will show you, it's done in a sense, but you know, I just freshly finished it. There's a lot of, I like to do a lot of my own footage, but there is on the second video footage that I found, stock footage that I either bought or it was free in that poem. And the second video is also about juxtaposition. So I'm mixing language with the subject matter being very heavy. So it's kind of a irony in a sense. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go ahead and let's see. 1 participant can share at a time. Okay. So share screen. Alrighty. Let's see. Share. Okay.
I'm not getting sound.
Not getting sound?
No, it's just visuals.
Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Can't hear that.
No. It's
Oh, wait.
muted there. Do you hear it?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, very quietly now.
It's
Okay,
low.
hold on 1 sec and I'll open it up again. Sorry about that.
She puts everything on my way. She knows she doesn't have everything. She attaches to her car, something her daughter would wear. She put on sizes she used to fit in. She chooses colors to go
Yeah.
with the state wear. She'll tell her daughter that they can be twins. And matching outfits for the rest.
It's very quiet.
She loads it up, tearing promises, knowing nothing will materialize or realize. She has it for her babies, eyes screaming, fantastic. But she gets to get it done. She needs to go out. In the fitting room where she never fits in, she throws fence ads, simmers breaking, seats tear, buttons ripped out the outfits. She imagines glamour perhaps words, emphasizes her loss. Instead, she steps in a room with a mirror that is moving out function, has a fraction. She smashes it, knowing something's behind it. She mistrusts her price. She'll put everything on my way. She'll tell you tomorrow. She'll deceive herself. The bus driver came to her. The bus driver had a game. She misses every time. Every time she misses, she lets it happen. She'll worry about it the next day.
Okay, so that was hard to hear.
Yeah, the sound was low.
Okay, let's just try the second one. You can find it. I'll send the links to. Let's see if we can hear this one. And this is one that I have been working on. I'll start it and we'll see how it goes from there. You hear me?
Your screen looks frozen.
It's frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Coldplay's about to start.
Okay. Whoop. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Now I have to find my iTunes. Sorry, guys. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me share. Share. Okay, so let me go ahead and see if I can just share it like this. Can you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And let me just play it from here.
It's not sending out. I can see your voice meter going up and down, but I'm not hearing audio.
What?
No audio.
We can't hear it.
Ah, gee. Ah, okay.
It's
Let's
cool to see the
try
setup.
one more time. I'll do internal speakers and see if you can hear that. Just let me see if you can hear it. Can you hear it? No?
Yeah, starting to, yeah. Can you turn it up?
I was like totally like big as I confessed to the girls. So they went with and saw the parents spasm. The blood was hella raw and the scene was happening. I was like, get real, mom, take a chill pill. And she was like, I took the bottom. Harsh. I was like, Dad, chili, you really? And he said, it's been in the freezer. And I was like, stop being so mental and not even. Hand me that carving utensil and stop bleeding. You two sit here in bed while I turn on the telly. Watch something I can get to. Like, sure. So we jet out of there. Us hall chicks to the call. We are Bettys to our baldwins down in Juvie Hall. Bogus, penis breathing hall maggots with nothing better to do. Grody to the maximum sentence. My hot dogger has two, but I'm not tripping. It's totally tubular. Because when I yell, eat my shorts, you dweeb, his best friend always answers me. And although he's a righteous scarfer, and only an after midnight barfer, he's fantabulous. Gag me with a spooter, gag me with a forker, gag ball me, gagger. Oh, just bite me because he's the boy toy bomb. Diggity, the as if in my thinking, the dickwad to my joy. He's really only a wannabe. As I kiss my, in another life, Romeo, a sweet goodbye, and China powder. The girls and I take our ghost goblin pattern eyes from table to table, watching all the splooges eat their subsidized kitchen food paper. We collect our little baggies from the inside and sell them to the suburbanites in Upper St. Cal because, like, oh my God, I'm Section 8 Val.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry you guys can't hear. I don't know. Let me undo screen sharing.
Can you put it in the chat, the links to the two?
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see, unshare, stop. Let's see. La, 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 la. Not finding where to unshare. Ah, here we go. Haha. Okay. Sorry, guys.
You want me to unshare on my end?
Yeah, I can't find.
Okay. Cool. All right. There we go. I don't
I
know.
think you got to switch your mic back.
Yeah, your mic is probably still on the internal mic. And then, Julie, if you have your video on YouTube or some other platform, Vimeo, you can, if you want to share it in chat.
Someone did just suggest that when you share it, there's an, let's see, what did he say? Share sound box and optimize for video clip.
Yeah.
So I did not do that. Is that, maybe I should try that next time.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't know, Kimmy, we still can't hear you. Or maybe I can't. Maybe others can.
No, I can't either.
Oh.
Kimmy's gone silent on us.
Okay. Well, no worries. We'll have the videos up. Look for them in YouTube. We'll get a hold of you, Kimmy and Julie, to present those later as well. Okay. And thank you all for participating tonight as editors. Can you tell us when the deadline is to submit if you are in the public domain? I mean, not a member of Poetry Center San Jose?
Yes. So the deadline for Cæsura's, the regular deadline is June 1st. Is that correct, Bill? And then June 15th would be members.
Correct.
Cool.
And unmasking is our theme this
Okay.
year. So
I want to give it to Seven Kelly right now to help folks understand theme and what that means.
The theme is unmasking. For poetry specifically, be creative without using unmask or mask. There's the thesaurus. So let's not use the word unmask, because then we don't want to read 15 to 30 poems with mask in it, right? So be creative with unmasking. Unmask the words. Like unmask yourselves however you feel that, or whatever it means to remove the facade. And then write about it. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like unmasking, literally unmasking, but what does it mean to unmask? What does it mean to take off something that is covering, right? So just be creative and find other words. Use a thesaurus. Don't use unmasking. Unmasking is a theme. It doesn't mean to use the word. It means to figure it out. Yeah, it's like if the theme is love, oh my God, love is so overarching, and you can write everything about love, anything about love, how love makes you feel, how it breaks your heart, how this, how that. It's the same thing. So just kind of be creative is what I ask for as the poetry editor. And then if you're writing like a short story or fiction or nonfiction, even then be thoughtful about what it is that you're saying, even as you're unmasking what it is that you're unmasking. Like make it like a reveal party, you know, like reveal, like just kind of make it palatable. You want to be able to read it. You want your audience to dive in and be like, oh, make me feel something. Okay, use your words and help me to feel more. Yeah, that would be my poetry editor, writing kind of like editor hint. Don't you if somebody say don't use a word, don't use a word. Follow directions.
Also, I think one of the other editors mentioned about unmasking. When you mask is also another way of unmasking. So you can look at it the opposite way of masking is a way of unmasking. So I think, Tony, that's what you kind of mentioned early on too. And I really like that concept. So.
Yeah, Tony, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah. To me, unmasking is very kind of on the nose of what Seven was saying there. It's a lot more, throughout the pandemic, we were dealing with the physical masking and different things like that. And this is not that. Although it gave us an opportunity to really kind of understand ourselves in unique ways. I think a lot of people, especially during, being in the quarantine or having to shelter in with other folks in particular, they got to see things within themselves, or maybe their roommates that they got to know, a little bit better or in unique ways. To me, the whole unmasking thing, the whole approach, especially when I'm seeing in some of the submissions, some people are really taking it quite literal. And it can be that, sure. But sometimes, it's finding that uniqueness of you, or a uniqueness in a situation. My story tonight was basically coming to terms. To me, the unmasking in that story was coming to terms with realizing that somebody was no longer there, that I didn't have an opportunity to reach out to a person because they'd passed. And it was what that made me feel about myself, how there were moments in my life where somebody had been there, and maybe it was, in this case, a unique set of teeth or a smile or a giving moment. It's a reveal. And what I'm particularly looking for in the fiction is, it doesn't have to be a twist necessarily, but if you want to do a twist, you can do that. But find something unique about who you are in your messaging. Find something unique about the world, something that's new to you, something that has become revealed, or that you are actually, if you bring yourself through, I think we mentioned it as like furries. If your fursona is kind of like your real you, then bring that to the table. It's there's a lot of different ways of finding out who you really are. And anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Seven Kelly. Kimmy, you wanted to add something to Tony's remark?
No, I think they both pretty much kind of covered the both cases. I think that, if it's if you're submitting something, I think Kelly had said that if you think it's a great poem, if it's a good poem, it's a good poem, and it stands out. So, whether it's exact on unmasking or unrevealing or revealing, whatever it may be. I would just say that, to submit, whether you feel that it really is strictly going with the theme or not. Especially if you're a new poet, I think Cæsura, am I right, Bill, has been very strong on publishing new poets. So this is a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. We always want to encourage new artists and experimental work. So yeah, someone shouldn't be limiting themselves that heavily. We're trying to do a theme to get people inspired and
right.
You know,
I think that's a good point that you bring up, Bill. I think these editors that are here are, you know, I think they're very much open to experimental work. So I don't know, they could speak for themselves, but I feel like that's one of the reasons why I, you know, collected them together, is because they make a great group and they're open to new things. So.
Right. Experimental in terms of, for those of you listening out there, amenable to poems such as Cleave poems or Golden Shovel poems, you know, Right Justified. And then in terms of what Tony was mentioning, I've been working on something where reflective of my attachment to schedule and how I realize, now I didn't realize how much I relied on schedule for my sanity or a sense of regularity. And now things are off and I'm waking up at odd hours and waking up at 4 a.m. and thinking, oh, it's 7 a.m, things like that. And seeing my kids waking up, getting up at 1 a.m, getting ready for school, and, you know, well, it's not school time. And then having that disorder reflected in the poem itself as it's progressively going through disorder in the lines. You see a disorder in the thought, non sequiturs, images don't follow each other, conversations are suddenly broken up, things of that nature. So unmask, but don't take it literally. There's just there are many ways of going about it. Yes, Aaron.
Yeah, since I'm the nonfiction editor, I just wanted to type up nonfiction is a new section for the journal, and we don't have a lot of submissions yet. So I encourage people to submit nonfiction and spread the word.
Yes. Your experience, that of others, that of what you're seeing around, bring it to Aaron, bring it to Cæsura. Excellent. Open mic, if there is Larry or others who wish to participate in the open mic, now's the chance. Put it up in the chat. And I'll give you a few moments here. So remember the deadline to submit if you are not a member of Poetry Center San Jose is earlier. And you can visit the website out there, pcsj.org/Cæsura, Caesura. You'll get all the information, and we're looking forward to reading your work. All right. And we're also taking art. So send that in, a variety. If you've got a variety of art that you want somebody to consider, great. Julie, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm open to looking at anything and everything. Video, art, any digital files are welcome. I love in-person physical pieces, but that doesn't mean that I won't love your digital piece. We also will have the online version, so that's probably where we'll be able to include those digital pieces if they're chosen. In the way of unmasking, don't need to stick to that, but you also can sort of weave it within your work without actually making, let's say, a mask. Although I'm loving some of the pieces that I'm looking at, I do see a lot of the local San Jose artists, international artists, all the way to the old masters. I did study in Europe for a while. I worked for the British Museum. I did an internship there. So I've seen a lot, and I'm loving what's out there. I just feel like people are maybe afraid to submit. Do not be afraid to submit. We love to see your work. And yeah, please share your goodness.
Indeed. Thank you, Julie. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
For those of you, and this goes for the nonfiction, fiction, poetry as well, if you're kind of hesitant, like, I don't know if this fits the bill, it probably does. And your internal editor is telling you to shut up. Well, you know, crack an egg on that internal editor and send it in. So don't let the voices get in your way. All right. Excellent. All right. No one's inclined for the open mic. That's fine. No problem. And want to thank all of you who've read tonight. That is Anthony Bellin, Aaron Keys, Julie Barrett, Seven Kelly Bolt, and Kimmy J Martinez, with Bill Cazzini there with the hands as managing editor in the background. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. All right. And I'm going to unmute you all. All right. And
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Rob. It was brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
I'm going